Good morning, good afternoon, and thank you everyone for joining us here today. I think our presence here today itself is a testament of how passionately we all feel about natural diamonds, and it is something that has been in discussions amongst all of us and within our industry all over the world for probably months and years and decades and centuries now. Uh, so we thought to bring this discussion and look at what's happening today and what we think could happen tomorrow on a stage where we could all gather ideas together. So why are natural diamonds forever? When De Beers coined it, they of course spent a lot of time, energy, effort, resources into thinking about what the word forever could mean when it associates itself with diamonds. And so why are natural diamonds forever? We hear a lot of people talking about reasons such as they are very sustainable, they generate a lot of employment, they have a very good supply chain that they come through. But while these are true, they are not the most important reasons why natural diamonds are forever. The most important reasons and what really matters is our beloved consumers, what they think and what they feel, how they feel about natural diamonds, and what they feel evolving and changing and improving is something that keeps us on the track of understanding why natural diamonds are forever. So we are going to look at this from a consumer perspective today. We know that diamonds have been around for centuries now. It's not a decade-old story. And kings and queens, and we know that the earliest ownership of diamonds, the earliest widely known ownership, has been with royalty. They would gift it to their favorite queen, and there would be jealousy all around for who got which diamond and who didn't get which diamond. And that would be the ultimate expression of us understanding the importance of diamonds even then. And since then, a lot has changed. Technologies have changed, geographies have changed, a lot of things have changed. Letters became pagers, pagers became mobile phones. But even today, when I show my grandmother a 5-carat pear-shaped diamond, or I show my mother, or I show my wife a 5-carat pear-shaped diamond, the moment in their eyes is still the same. And that's the same thing that keeps us going. And that's what we want to understand. What is it that keeps that moment alive in our consumers today? So there are a few key things that we could find when we deep dive into what consumers think. The first and I think the most important reason is that it's a precious product. And it's most important because that's what the base of so many uses of diamonds are, right? The sparkle in the eyes of someone receiving a diamond, them getting that rush of feelings down their spine when they receive their diamond. And as it's usually said, the bigger the diamond, the better the sorry for forgetting an anniversary. So the diamond's preciousness is what speaks loudly to consumers today, and that's what they connect with probably the most. Second, and another very important aspect, is the value retention and the value creation. A mother gifting her treasured piece to her daughter, a father creating the stridhan of his daughter when she will change her family and change her house. That value that stays with the daughter, and that value that the father and mother feel proud about gifting their daughter, that's something that only a natural diamond can do. The product is rare. The product, as Natural Diamond Council's recent analysis showed, the total number of 1-carat solitaires crafted annually could fill just an exercise ball. The total number of 5-carat solitaires that are crafted annually could only fit a basketball. So the product being rare also automatically causes the consumer to love it so much more. And what better way to express your mood or express your feelings or express your self-accomplishment than having a 3-carat pear-shaped solitaire pointing out of your finger? That's something that consumers are really enjoying today. They're increasingly using our product as something that they wear every day, every occasion, every dinner, every day at work, more than just using it at weddings or at very, very special occasions. And these are very important ownership motivating factors till now, but there are also other comfort giving factors. So despite it being precious, rare, creating, retaining value, and also having the status conveyed, other things that our industry together has championed is keeping the product beautiful, keeping it natural and original, and keeping the product authentic. That's what gives additional comfort to our consumers when they come in to think about owning a natural diamond. And another important aspect, of course, is throughout its very vast and wide supply chain, the diamond is brought to the consumer with a lot of care. From the miner to the craftsman to the retailer presenting it, it's always a white glove story. And that's what brings even additional comfort to the consumers to think about natural diamonds as something that they will feel proud to own. So let's just go through these reasons again. So it's just, them being precious, they're creating and retaining value, they're rare, they express the status and your self-love, self-accomplishment, they're natural, beautiful, they're authentic, and of course, they're brought to the consumer with care. These are the reasons why natural diamonds probably are something that are the only product that can bring all of these things together, and that's why we believe natural diamonds are forever. But this, of course, is in theory. What is the ground reality? And to bring the ground reality to all of us here, we have a expert panelist session today with Sachin Bhai, Richa and Nilesh Bhai. I'd like to have you all join me in welcoming Mr. Sachin Jain, Managing Director, De Beers India, Mr. Nilesh Chhabria, CEO of Fine Star Diamonds and Jewelry, and Richa Singh, the Managing Director, India and Middle East of the Natural Diamond Council. No, thank you so much, the three of you, for joining us today. I think it's a clear idea of how passionate we all feel about the product here, and that's why we need you to show us and tell us, what we should be thinking today as an industry and, as a group of people who are so passionate and concerned about what this product is doing and what it could do in the future. Now, since we started with consumers as the beginning, I want to start with asking Richa, on the industry's behalf, the Natural Diamond Council has been speaking to consumers about what the product is and what it means. What kind of target groups have been your priority and how has their response been?
Thank you for having me here. For us, when we started with inputs from all of you, a lot of you sitting here and a lot of you who spoke to us, the De Beers team, all of it was that there was parts of marketing and advertising that were being done very well by the industry, and everybody was focusing on weddings. And that's what the money came from, and so we consciously chose to say we will not talk weddings, we will talk to a woman who beyond weddings. And what can you do? There was a lot of younger audience that was wanting to buy for yourself or wanting to have a expression of love which went beyond a moment like an anniversary that you mentioned, or a birthday or a wedding. So we started to talk to a much younger audience. We believe that a lot of Indians get into luxury much earlier now. So we started to talk, our audience, core audience is 25 to 45, but we digitally start talking to them at 20. And the conversations start from anywhere from fashion, history, royalty, love, romance, why natural. So I think today a consumer is looking for more than just one ad and one glorious celebrity face. They're looking for a lot more. So last year we've created about 750 pieces of content only for India. And, we have big or small. Focus has been digital. Focus hasn't been. So digital includes OTT, of course. So we have social media platforms, OTT, the connected TV. So it's a lot of the new age formats trying to capture an audience which is ready for information, exposed to global information. So sirf Indian nahi, but what's happening in China, what's happening in India, what's happening in the Middle East. So encompassing all of that. And there is curiosity. If there was ever a doubt, we had 45 million consumers coming on to only the NDC India platform last year. That shows us that the consumer is hungry for information. We need to share, or we need to show things that they are curious about.
Yeah, and I think that's a growing platform. We are starting to see it in so many more places now. We've seen it on Wimbledon and we've seen it on Coffee with Karan. But I'm going to get back to that, and I want to then ask Sachin bhai, De Beers as a group has been invested in this product for very long, and even today, De Beers is increasing their investments in the product, going underground in the Venetian mine in South Africa, or the new contract with the Botswana government, and just in general also keeping the Botswana infrastructure and lifestyle go up every year by a very high notch. What are the signs that you are seeing as an organization that keep you so confident of this investment?
First and foremost, thanks Dimash, thanks for getting me here. और इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे आके the आपका जो फंडामेंटल क्वेश्चन था, which is कि हीरा है सदा के लिए कि नहीं है, right? Let's address that and I'll jump on to De Beers' strategy. So ये जो एक simple एक line है, it's a very simple line which is diamond is forever, हीरा है सदा के लिए, holds a fundamental truth. इसमें एक सबसे गहरी basic सच्चाई है, because जो सबसे तरुण हीरा है, सबसे youngest diamond is 100 crore years old.
Wow.
And the fact is that जब भी मैं कस्टमरों को मिलता हूँ, मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ कि आप प्लीज़ अपने उंगली में, जैसे रिचा, if you look at your diamond that you have on your finger, that is older than Mount Everest, right?
Wow.
और सिर्फ दो ही चीज़ें हैं. एक तो what does it symbolize? It's not about कि because इतनी पुरानी चीज़ें मैंने पहन रखी है. इसका एक रेफरेंस है that जिस तरह एक सबसे basic simple human affection which is permanent is love, and that gets expressed. एक हीरा एक उस प्यार को जताता है और एक्सप्रेस करता है. So we should never ever miss that core point कि ये हीरा करता क्या है, first and foremost. De Beers के point of view से हम लोग बिजनेस में रहे हैं करीब से 136 साल. Not many global companies किसी भी इंडस्ट्री में 136 साल रह पाई हैं, right? The reason, one of the core reasons कि हम लोग रह पाए is that we change with times. मगर जो core fundamental था कि हीरा है सदा के लिए, what is the purpose of a diamond has not changed. What has changed around it is markets. What has changed around it is mosanites. Right now, I'm sure we'll talk about lab-grown diamond, and I have a very clear view on that as De Beers as to what it does, what it doesn't do. And hence, long-term is important. There are different businesses that will emerge. You have to see where trends are. भाई अगर 20 साल पहले Japan market बड़ा था, फिर Japan से movement हुआ, तो as businessmen, as people, we moved our shift to different things, and hence that agility is important to be in long term. So one is that हीरा है सदा के लिए, it's a fundamental truth, because as in more we talk about younger people and millennials, जो Richa mention कर रही थी, the need to express genuine things and hence the need to express genuine love is only on a high. Absolutely. Right? So will you express it by technological product? Will you express by fashion? Is an obvious answer, but we'll talk about it. Now, your question core was that what is De Beers doing about it? So De Beers fundamentally believes in the future of diamonds that hold value, that can represent love. What I was talking about. And hence, you mentioned about certain investments. So as a company, हम लोग काफ़ी major investments कर रहे हैं. Devansh mentioned about Venetian mine. Venetian एक हमारी South Africa mine है, जिसमें हम और deeper जा रहे हैं. There is the largest mine in the world called, it's a mine called Jonang mine in Botswana. उसको हम और expand कर रहे हैं. और अगर आप mine में अगर बोलें expansion का point जो होता है, the investment is over $10 billion, which happens today, और उसका output आपको कुछ साल बाद निकलता है. तो आप क्यों कर रहे हैं वो? Right?
Exactly.
Because there is a fundamental belief on this business and the way this business will future refer to love. And you see, I'm saying a lot of things will change, but the core is there.
Belief.
The core belief of what diamonds are, what they do, unka matlab kya hai, unka reference kya hai, is clear. Now, partnerships will change, your marketing will change, Richa will bring in new content, connecting to the millennials, source transparency will change, but that core is there, and hence De Beers as an organization is very clear about the future of natural diamonds. So that's the reason we've been investing.
Super. But from the consumer point of view, I know that there is a lot of research that happens before you make such huge investments. What are the signs that you are seeing from the consumers that keep you so confident that this investment will sustain and it will, turn out to be fruitful?
Sure. I mean, it's a very big answer to that question,
Yeah.
but I'll only focus on India because हम यहाँ इंडिया में IIJS पे बैठे हुए हैं. तो इंडिया के मार्केट में जो हमारी रिसर्च है बड़ी क्वांटिफाइड रिसर्च है. इट्स पब्लिश्ड ऑनलाइन, सो आप प्लीज़ देखें उसे. हमारा एक नज़रिए से जो इंडियन मार्केट डायमंड ज्वेलरी का है वो करीब $7 बिलियन का है. $7.5 billion is the current consumption. The projection is that this natural diamond business, the business that holds value, will be anywhere between $10 billion to $17.5 billion.
Wow.
And why I'm saying $10 billion to $17.5 billion by 2030. तो अगर आप 7 साल में सोचें, अगर हम बिल्कुल रिलैक्स करें, कुछ नहीं करें, तो ये $10 बिलियन होने वाला है. And I'm sure हम लोग सब रिलैक्स नहीं करेंगे.
Correct.
हम लोग काफ़ी चीज़ें कर रहे हैं. And there is no way we will not be growing to a double digit. Right now, about 8% diamond जो world का है वो इंडिया में बिकता है. हमारा projection है this will get to about 14 to 15 in the next 7 years. And that's a reality coming. Now, today एक जो हमारा business infrastructure है, करीब एक आंकड़ा आता है कि हिंदुस्तान में 5 लाख ज्वेलर हैं, 4 लाख ज्वेलर हैं. Who knows what that actual number is? मगर ये number जो है certainly कम होएगा. Right? ये number 50,000 होएगा कि 1 लाख होएगा. I am not the, I cannot say. But ये कम लोग करेंगे. तो ये जो ग्रोथ है ये कम लोगों के थ्रू होने वाली है, बट इट्स रियल, इट्स कमिंग. सो वन ऑफ द रीजंस व्हाई वी नो दैट, एंड वी नॉट सॉर्ट ऑफ सेइंग रिसर्च डन आउट ऑफ हियर, इट्स क्वांटिफाइड, इट्स डिटेल्ड आउट किस सेगमेंट में होने वाली है. आवर बिगेस्ट बेट इज मिडिल इनकम ग्रुप, which is where the largest growth will happen. Younger customers will drive it because एक वैल्यू एसर्टेशन ज्वेलरी में जो था हमारा, जो गोल्ड लेट था कि आपने गोल्ड की ज्वेलरी खरीदी और आपने अंदर रखी, टुडे इट्स एक्सप्रेशन, टुडे इट्स एक्सेसराइजेशन, इट्स वैल्यू, इट्स सेल्फ परचेज जो आपने रेफर किया दिवांश, दोज आर स्ट्रॉन्ग ट्रेंड्स. सो इट्स क्वांटिफाइड एंड दिस इज हैपनिंग. You can choose that you are in the business of precious things. You can choose your business of non-precious things, and that's a decision people should take.
Absolutely.
I'm going to add to that. You said कि consumer को कैसे पता चल रहा है कि consumer कह रहा है मुझे चाहिए. There are 3-4 things that come up. आप किसी आदमी से पूछो पैसा जब मिलेगा आप क्या खरीदोगे. Upper middle class starts with saying real estate. सबसे पहले उसको घर चाहिए, गाड़ी नहीं चाहिए. 5 साल पहले it used to be गाड़ी. सबसे पहला लोन जो आप लेते थे when you started a job was an auto loan. Today it's not that. When you go to a business school, सबसे पहले आप क्या करना चाहते हो? Travel. सबसे पहली इन्वेस्टमेंट आप क्या करना चाहते हो? घर. This is a man talking. Ask a woman with your salary what will you do? वो कहेगी मैं हीरा खरीदना चाहती हूँ. Badge value उसकी हीरे से है. और वो सबसे पहली आर्टिकुलेशन ऑफ अ 25-year-old woman और अ 24-year-old woman जो काम कर रही है, इस आदमी गाड़ी चलाता है, ही इज़ अ सेंस ऑफ प्राइड कि मेरे घर के बाहर ये गाड़ी खड़ी है, औरत ने हीरा पहना है, उसकी सेंस ऑफ प्राइड ये है. एंड आई गो बैक टू टॉकिंग टू द कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड एंड सेइंग 10 साल पहले अगर आप खड़े होके कहते थे मैं बिजनेस सूट पहन के जा रही हूँ, इट्स अ पावर प्ले फॉर अ वुमन दैट यू आर वर्किंग. इट्स देयर इज अ सर्टन. Now you ask a woman, she says मैं solitaires डाल के जा रही हूँ, मेरे को I feel powerful when I walk into a room. That is the biggest sign that you have. अब उसका solitaire 50 सेंट का या 3 कैरेट का है मैं आपको नहीं बोल सकती, उसकी जो what she can afford. But the point is her dream of when she walks into a room is to say I feel a sense of power, I feel in control when I step in wearing my natural diamond solitaires. And that's the biggest sign for us that we are in the right industry.
Yeah, and I think these make us all very confident to understand that these are actual consumer trends with actual research, and there is very little that can impact, such a large survey to be very different from its actual outcome. And so I want to come to Nilesh by now. Finestar as a group, of course, has been around the world since many years now. Japan, Hong Kong, America. And in the recent past, you're also expanding your production capabilities, Botswana, Namibia, South Africa. I know for sure that, there would have been a lot of business opportunities that would have been presented to you or that you would have considered. But what is it that keeps you growing more and more focused only in natural diamonds?
First of all, thank you for having me here. It's a privilege to be a part of this extreme quest. Devansh, it's a great question that you're asking me in terms of understanding what opportunities. Yes, every other manufacturer, everyone got the opportunities. We got it very early, also in 2016. But as a fundamental perspective of the company, it's a family-run business, and we've been doing this business of natural diamonds for the last 40 years, with spread across so many places. And then you realize wherever you are today and wherever you've reached is purely because of the fact of natural diamonds.
Correct.
So when you have that clarity in your mind and you build it up so well, that it just gives you more commitment towards it. Now, when it comes to us as Fine Star, when we sell diamonds, we are selling diamonds with using purely one most important factor. We are selling diamonds out of giving our origin of the stone. And for us, it becomes very essential to use provenance as the key of selling and by ethical way of procuring a rough. Now, when at this point in time, provenance has become a very big concept, but this was acknowledged now that it's important. But we've been doing it from the start. And because it is about provenance, giving traceability, transparency, all these factors come along with the fact that you're doing a business in the most ethical fashion. And the impact that you do give back to the government, to the world, what you're doing with the people that you're working with. So that is our commitment. Now, if you look at all the luxury brands in our business, all of them also have the similar core values. They all have the core value towards understanding that we have to do business sustainably, we need to do ethically, and this is what resonates with us as a company. So, and for us, these brands are the ones who actually define what natural diamond really stands for. And they are our actual clients. So when it's a no-brainer when you understand when your actual clientele is the one who looks for these things, and we are here to give that. So if you want to do business in the right fashion, with the right brands, with the right people, you have to stick to the natural diamond business. I don't know any luxury brand which is not in the natural diamond business right now. So this becomes a major point of getting to it. Now I would like to bring in the most important aspect which is rarity. Diamonds are rare, and we have to believe, how do we believe in this? Now, in the year 2005, the diamond output that was there to today, what in 2022 that the output is reduced by 30%. So when a lot of people, when you speak, they said diamonds are enough in the world. What are you talking about? No, it is not. That's a myth that's enough available. No, it is not enough available. So due to the scarcity of what the natural diamond business is, and the fact it is so unique and it's so close to your heart, this is what believes that are the key fundamental factors that we as a company realistically have that confidence towards that business. If you look at also look at from the fact that now what De Beers is doing. De Beers is doing a business of very ethical way of functionality, and that's what we are working with them. That's where our sources are formed, and we want to be sticking to that kind of a business in the end of the day. Now, when you look at the natural diamond business of how it is now, the biggest conversation here is about lab-grown diamonds and natural diamonds. It's a big question. Both of them can very much coexist. I don't find a reason why it does not.
Absolutely.
Today, the natural diamond business of IIJS has been here, but then it was the part of lab-grown. It's a part of here which is existent very much here. It is how we define it is that the natural diamond is for the people who are the rich, the elite, who look at it as a form of an investment, and then that will be the crowd for that. And there is this the kind of crowd which are aspirational towards it. So from an aspirational point of view, yes, there is going to be lab-grown diamonds. The only problem that we feel is that there should be more, the claims that we state about sustainability and eco-friendly, if it is verified, it's amazing. And let them let the end consumer decide what they really want to do, how they want to buy. Let them do the right factual information that they should get, and based on that information should be clarified into it. No one really talks about in our industry really about the good things that the natural diamond business does, as I was previously referring to De Beers, what it goes back and gives back to the society, what it does for the environment, the people who are working with them, it's something which it's something for us to learn from, and we are in our own ways doing what we can do in that aspect. Today, as a company, we have about 750 people associated in manufacturing side of the business, from all ethnicities, countries, cities, everywhere. Plus, along with our marketing and the sales point of view, another 900 people working. These people, we are putting up an education institute because, and we're transferring skill sets. We're giving free education for the business of natural diamonds because we, as a company, so truly believe in that business.
Absolutely.
Also, the fact that today our factories which are there, we've got our 100% of our factories, wherever they are at the mine where it is. So when we're environmenting those factories there, we're giving back a lot of things to them, from an employment point of view, from a healthcare point of view, from a community point of view. So these are things that are good things.
And that's something that the business has believed in since its inception. That's what makes the key difference. And I think also it's you very rightly mentioned that there is a lot that the natural diamond industry is doing, but I believe it is also that we are doing it because we believe in it, which makes it very difficult for the end consumer to understand. That communication probably doesn't reach the end consumer always, and that's where I want to also bring in Sachin. I think very important points that you mentioned is been in this business for 40 years and that's why you are confident, and that's the product that has given the business what it is today. And then you also mentioned about the changing times and the changing importance of information like provenance and origin. And so Sachin bhai, from the De Beers point of view, there have been a lot of brands that have been built by De Beers so successfully, and I know that when an end consumer thinks about the natural diamond, there is a very emotional connection that they feel with the product. But sometimes in the recent few probably years, we also get feedback from retailers that there is certain sense of commoditization with the solitaire selling, because they feel that there being a certificate and there being so many grading attributes assigning a value to the product somehow might lose the emotional connection with the customer when they could be difficult with price or this. So what could be the solution for the end consumer's experience not being affected by such kind of commoditization? Is it your new provenance project, and when can that be ready?
I think great question, Devansh. And I think पहली चीज़ ये है कि again I go back to why De Beers I believe has been successful. और हमारी कोर सक्सेस का रीज़न ये रहा है कि आप एक कस्टमर ट्रेंड पे फोकस करके यू मेक द चेंजेस. सो यू मेंशन अबाउट प्रोवेनेंस, यू मेंशन अबाउट सस्टेनेबिलिटी, मगर जो एक चेंज आ रहा है वो यू कैन स्टैंड, यू से दिस डायमंड इज सस्टेनेबल एंड हैज़ डन ग्रेट थिंग्स इन द वर्ल्ड. और एक बहुत बड़ी कंपनी है De Beers, उसने बहुत बड़ा काम किया है CSR में. टुडे रिसर्च सेज नोबडी केयर्स अबाउट इट. It's important. What they really care is that what am I doing in the world? Will my purchase make a difference in the world? I think those changes as an industry need to be done. So for example, as De Beers, you talked about the Provenance program, which we are unveiling tomorrow at our booth at the UNESCO ground, and we unveiled it at JCK. Can I borrow yours? This is. और ये जो एक fundamental change है, which is consumer trend. आपने एक बड़ी कंपनी करती है CSR to saying, madam customer, with this 50 point, this specific impact you will create in the world.
Wow.
ये change है. So we need to change as an industry to make that technology work and everything. So those are the changes on sustainability that has to make meaningful sense to a consumer. मतलब आज आप अगर एक Starbucks की दुकान पे जाते हैं, वहाँ पे एक QR कोड स्कैन लगा होता है, तो 200 रुपये की कॉफ़ी के लिए when you scan that QR कोड, उसमें ये लिखा आता है कि ये कॉफ़ी बीन कहाँ से आई है, उसने क्या इम्पैक्ट किया है, एंड ये 200 रुपये के प्रोडक्ट के लिए है. सो अगर हमारी एक्सपेक्टेशन है कस्टमर, सेम कस्टमर एक 10 लाख रुपए का या 5 रुपये का एक हीरा खरीदेगा और उससे कुछ नहीं पता और कॉन्फिडेंटली नहीं पता कि इसकी प्रोवेनेंस क्या है, उसकी जर्नी में क्या हुआ है और हाउ ही इज एसोसिएटेड टू इट. आई थिंक दोज आर द गैप्स वी हैव टू फिल इन. नाउ to your point on commoditization, you see, commoditization, the whole conversation of the 4 C's was done to bring transparency in B2B world. We transferred that to the B2C world. So, I mean, we have to be blamed, but हमारी industry also has the best entrepreneurship, right?
Absolutely.
We'll change markets. This room and this hall, looks at opportunity that changes accordingly. The biggest trend that's happening right now, it's branded world. We know in the last 5 to 7 years, largest value creation has happened by the top brands in the world. So the point is कि आपको same 4Cs का grading certificate एक बड़े brand पे मिलता है, छोटे पे मिलता है, वो brand आपसे एक premium ले रहा है, और customer understands the value of it. So I think keeping in mind what your business is, you have to articulate what your offering is. As De Beers, what we will be offering is not for, I would say, making the price difference or whatever. We are making these changes because as an industry, we need to be ready for the future. So a provenance will not be limited to only a certain premium diamond. We want to offer it to everything, and step by step we'll get there. But differentiation and जो हम बात कर रहे हैं, the good work that happens at the mines, सूरत में जो काम होता है, are we transmitting or translating those stories properly and the impact? Perhaps not. We've not done a good job, and it's okay to accept what we've done well or what we've not done well. And we've not been great at it. And next year, everybody in this room will be convinced that we've done a phenomenal job on that.
Super.
That's for all of us, Sumesh, really. And I really feel confident because this transparency will be available to everybody in the industry who stands behind the natural diamond. And that's what we have to feel proud about and go behind it.
And that's exactly where I want to bring in Richa. So you're very rightly mentioned that, again, we've not probably been telling the consumer everything that we're doing for our communities and the people around us, because we do it for ourselves. But now we have to realize that the consumer also cares, and the consumer also cares where what he is buying comes from. So I want to bring in Richa to help us understand, as an industry, how do we solve this communication challenge? As Natural Diamond Council, you've been speaking to consumers about how the upstream has been doing a lot of communication, the downstream, the retail has a lot of advertising and communications. But I think this midstream here is probably not as connected with the consumer as probably the other parts of the supply chain. So, when you were already present in Coffee with Karan and Wimbledon, people are seeing natural diamonds there. Is there a role that the midstream industry can play, or is there something better that the midstream industry can do to, communicate these, matters that matter to the consumer?
I still want to start with something Sachin said, that the consumer is not buying because you're sustainable. Consumer इसलिए खरीद रहा है क्योंकि रणवीर सिंह ने बैठ के 5 कैरेट का solitaire पहना था, and that I am very proud of. We did a great job putting it on his ears, and nobody knows in the industry कि उसके पैसे दिए गए थे. We put it on his ears and he jumped up. Great for us. He made and said, Sindhis buy diamonds. Sindhis love their diamonds. Sindhis love diamonds is trending on internet today. It is a hashtag. And that has now come organically into 3 Coffee with Karans. So my job is today अगर उसने रॉकी और रानी में पूरी मूवी में सॉलिटेयर पहने हैं, मुझे बताओ कितने आदमी बाहर निकल के सॉलिटेयर की रिसर्च कर रहे हैं. मेरे पास डेटा है कि more men are reading my content than women now. There is curiosity, men are asking for it. So if you say reason for purchase is sustainability, nahi, but like Sachin said, it's a trend, it's becoming base hygiene. Karna zaruri hai. When you enter a shop needs to look a particular way. The experience has to be a base threshold. Sustainability, going green, doing good is a base threshold now, especially in the category we sell. If you're in precious goods, you have to have something which is, and we haven't done a good job. We started, I must tell you, in COVID, हम अपने पेज पे थे, हमने कहा सब जितने पार्टनर्स थे, हमने कहा आपने कुछ किया है तो हमें फ़ोटो भेज दो. हमको 150 रिटेलर्स से एक दिन में मैसेज आया था कि हमने क्या किया है. चाहे उन्होंने 10 लोगों को खिलाया है, चाहे 10 हॉस्पिटल किया, में whether it was oxygen banks or whatever you did, everybody was doing something. And हमारा तो कांटेक्ट 500 लोगों से है. अगर आप 5 लाख लोगों के पास जाओ, एज एन इंडस्ट्री व्हाट ऑल इज बीन डन. सूरत इज अ प्राइम एग्जांपल, बट इसकी स्टोरीज होनी चाहिए. इफ यू आर सेइंग विल दिस रिप्लेस अ रणवीर सिंह वेयरिंग इट और एन आलिया भट्ट, इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू. सो लेट्स बी वेरी, yes, it's becoming base hygiene according to me. Like Sachin said, if De Beers has to do this to be at a particular level, all of you need to do it. नहीं करोगे तो कहीं ना कहीं, अरे everybody moved from plastic bag to paper bag. It's happened, no? Means how many of you want to look for paper bags? You don't. It's hygiene. किसी ज़माने में जब होता था 4 दुकानें देती थी, आप कहते थे वो हो, अब तो सब्जी वाला भी नहीं देता ना आपको. So it's trickle down. So I'm saying this is base hygiene. Our kids do not ऑपरेट द वे वी डिड. हमारे सारे बच्चों के पास मेटल बॉटल्स हैं, सबके पास मेटल बॉटल्स हैं, ऑर्गेनिक है. ही मेंशन स्टारबक्स. फॉर मी स्टारबक्स इज सेलिंग, इज नॉट गिविंग यू प्लास्टिक, is giving you free refills if you bring your glasses back. It's how many people take your cup and say कि मेरा cup भर दो free. But it's a marketing gimmick, but it's a base hygiene. So for me, sustainability cannot be taken casually. Going green cannot be taken casually. Any of it. We do a lot of stuff which we don't showcase. When you say midstream क्या कर सकता है? For me, as a industry perception, larger industry perception, I keep saying दारू पी के कुछ कर लो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती है. हीरे में एक आदमी बदनाम होता है, the whole industry gets बदनाम. So we as an industry need to have जो साइड पे पैरेलल सीडिंग इन होगी. It is not going to be a trigger. Please don't expect you'll do a campaign on sustainability and tomorrow you sell more. I don't think so. But this is something that will stay in a consumer's mind and say मैंने 2 चीज़ें खरीदनी है. I can. So when you say whether it's Wimbledon or a coffee with Karan, tennis bracelets are back in. We are bringing the curiosity up. We are showing a man wearing a watch with diamonds in it, or a woman wearing a solitaires again, or tennis bracelet. It's to show that diamonds are not meant for the locker. They are meant to be worn and enjoyed. We truly believe that आप अपने आप को शीशे में देखते हो, sense of pride. It's your the consumer, when we asked कि आपने क्या किया है, सारी Zoom calls में उन्होंने अपने earrings पहने. So it was lipstick and earrings. So why are we underestimating the power that our brand has? They stand for something. आप इसलिए खुश थे कि मैंने अपने कान में हीरा पहना, मेरी माँ ने दिया, मुझे अपनी माँ की याद आई. आप घर में बैठे हो पजामे में पर आपने हीरा पहना हुआ है. There is a value to it. There is an emotion attached to it. And I think we as an industry underestimate that. कंज्यूमर उसको ज़्यादा भाव देता है, हम कम देते हैं. एंड वी नीड टू रियलाइज कि देर इज़ अ वैल्यू, इमोशनल वैल्यू, एंड समथिंग स्ट्रॉन्गर एंड मोर पावरफुल दैट अ डायमंड हैज़, दैट वी डोंट रियली we need to believe more in and express a lot more.
Yeah, so very key that consumer believes in it, but we need to also match that belief level, and also that by communicating what we're doing in the midstream, or as the industry, we may not be able to sell the diamond, but it's a must. It's a basic hygiene, like you said. So Nilesh bhai, from an industry perspective, as partners in the midstream, what do you think is important to communicate, and how do we reach that minimum must hygiene communication? Are we there? Should we do something to get there?
First of all, we're not there. We're not even asked. We're not even started as to what I feel. First of all, if you ask us why, we have never done it, because our focus has been pure manufacturing.
Yeah.
Our concentration has been very clear: buy the right rough, ethically source them, meticulously plan them, get the best yield out of it, and get the best brilliancy and cut. My investment today was more in innovation and technology and people, rather than looking at what I can do for the marketing side of it. And unfortunately, it's our fault. We were totally dependent on the upstream and the downstream to be totally that they will do a great job. And to be very frank, they have done their job. They've absolutely done it. There's no question about it. The kind of desire that they have created in the mind of the consumers has been brilliant. The desire of love, it has been the symbol of emotion, the connectivity, how they've got the diamond journey part of the business, which is from mind to the heart. It's great, it's brilliant, it's amazing. Now, I feel with a lot of myths coming into, and many wrong validations happening in the industry, it becomes very important for us also to take our part as well, and do what we can. So from there, if you ask us what should we do, we should at least, the intent, unfortunately, if I'm talking like a hardcore manufacturer, our margins are not that great. We don't have that kind of funds that we can imagine to get into the mainstream B2C advertising. But at whatever level that we can, I think we should do whatever we can. So I think that's what one thing is where I feel about it. And the stories that we have, not just about the sustainability point of view, what are we doing? We are, as a lot of companies out here are getting aligned to the UN sustainability goals. They're doing a lot of things. We're USGBC certified people. Whatever brands, whoever are doing whatever at that level, that conversation has to be heard to a lot of people. And that's what at least we can do at our bit. So if I really request all our manufacturing site holder companies, all of us to come together and form as a community to have put up a unanimous language of conversation of what we good that we are doing, and it should be open for dialogue so that you can create the trust and the transparency that we have lost not that much, but let's get back to what we can do in our business.
Yeah, and I agree we must do more, and coming together I think is a very important thing, because we all believe in the same thing and we all want to do the same thing, even though it's not always the easiest effort to do, to bring so many people of doing such successful businesses together on a common cause. But I know that as an industry, when we believe in something together, we can try our best at least to do it. And if that's what the consumer wants, I think we will at one point of time realize that it must be done. So before we go to answer any 2 questions from the audience's side, I know this is going to come up. That's why Sachin bhai, before they ask, hot question. De Beers is, I struggled hard to not bring, lab-grown in this conversation, but De Beers is doing some part in both businesses. I know it's justified, but we need to hear from you, what is the balance that you draw between being in the natural diamonds business and the lab-grown diamonds business?
Thanks, Dimash, for getting that question, because, I think it's good to talk about it, right? So 5 years back, same IIJS show, me and Amit, we were at a booth, and we had just unveiled Lightbox, which was De Beers' initiative. And we know how the kind of questions we got. And, of course, it seemed very disrupting. The reason, first and foremost, what is De Beers? De Beers is a natural diamond company, right? Our ownership, 15% of our ownership is with government of Botswana. Botswana mein, jo unka GDP hai, about 38% or something, comes from natural diamonds. So the country runs on it. So they are part of our decision making. आपने लाइट बॉक्स शुरू किया, हम लोगों ने इसलिए किया बिकॉज देवर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स हैपनिंग इन द बिजनेस जो आप एक सर्कमफ्रेंस में खड़े होकर बोलते थे कि भाई ये राइट है रॉन्ग है, बट वो तभी आप बोल सकते हो व्हेन यू आर इन द बिजनेस. सो वी गॉट इन द बिजनेस टू सी एंड ट्रूली सी व्हाट यू कैन नॉट डू एंड यू कैन नॉट डू. सो वी हैव अ स्ट्रेटेजिक रीजन व्हाई वी इन दैट बिजनेस, व्हिच इज transparency of what natural diamonds are and what lab-grown diamonds are, what their value is. So in the American market, for example, the strategic role for that is to bring the right value. And I think also to study the business well. तो जैसे मैंने शुरू में ही बोला था कि एक business है वो है precious चीज़ों का, things that hold value, which एक family खरीदती है to pass on generations and to feel good about the 5 carat in the year, right? That business is a very different business, which is fun, frolic, fashion.
Yeah.
If you look at apparel, for example, now there is a Tarun Telani store which sells lehengas for 10 lakh rupees or 5 lakh rupees or whatever the number is. And there's H&M, which has a very different model. So आपके rental उस हिसाब से होंगे, आपके cost उस हिसाब से होंगे. But you need to assess that if your store gets 10 customers today, right, and you give them a product which is natural, आप उसको change करके lab grown कर रहे हो, it's a very important decision you should do. Whether you should mix your brand with that, because ऐसा तो नहीं है कि the 10 will become 1,000, because it's a very different business. And we wanted to play that business, understand it, and then being advocates. And we are more and more clear over the years that it is a completely different business.
Yeah.
And like Nilesh said, they coexist, 100% they'll coexist, but there's a role for lab grown, which will get perhaps replaced by fun, frolic, easy, imitation jewelry or something. We see where it gets to. But the race for bottom is very fast. Very quick. We are here in the center of IIJS. I'm sure a lot of people will look at the pricing. It's a race to the bottom. The production is high, as a lot of things are, and that's the reason it's going to exist. We wanted to be in it for strategic reasons, to understand this and bring out, not sort of stand on the fence कि जी ये करना चाहिए. हमारा business लिए हमें करते हैं, तो it's proven.
Yeah, and I think it's very clear when you said that 99.9% of De Beers business, maybe more, is still in the natural diamonds industry. And I think this question comes just because of the impact of voice that De Beers has in the industry. And since we are running out of time, if there are any questions from the audience, we'd love to take to, sir, please.
I have a question for Richa ji from the Natural Diamond Council. Of course, you are doing a great job in terms of promoting diamonds in B2B segment and doing a lot of B2C, considering the constraints you have with the budgets, with your Russian partner exiting. But my question comes to a very specific thing regarding the diamonds for Sindhis. Like Sindhis love diamonds. So coming from today's generation, and they could take this thing as a kind of racist, that you are kind of promoting one community. And see, the perspective, Rajat, I don't know,
of
this is a
course.
perspective. So it could be, so today they are, you see the younger generation, I see my kids, they don't like to be calling somebody black, they don't like to be addressing that way. And also when you say Sindhis, of course, Naveen is very happy to listen now, Sindhi here with us. But
Naveen.
they are, the diamonds are here forever, that's the DBS line. So somewhere I find a contradiction, probably, this is a perspective.
मेरी कैंपेन थोड़ी है रणवीर सिंधी है मैं खड़े होके सरदारों की बात करूंगा अगर मैं सरदार हूँ सो आई एम वेरी प्राउड टू बी अ सरदार आई डोंट थिंक इट्स एन इंसल्ट इफ एनीबody says I'm
What
sardar
I mean is the NDC supported
it's not
that
a
campaign.
of course I'm it wasn't a campaign
Indirectly or directly you supported it.
No, of course. I used it also. I leveraged it. I want to say very clearly. मतलब मैंने पैसे इतने के दिए थे. When he said it, मैंने वो hashtag के ऊपर बहुत पैसा डाला है. I don't want to shy away from it. The fact is that both he and Karan Johar are talking about their Sindhi mamas and says Sindhi mamas love their diamonds. इसमें तो गलत कुछ नहीं है. इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी है कि सरदारों ने लव करना कम कर दिया है या पंजाबियों ने. I don't think, and this wasn't a campaign. See, if I went up and said this is only for Sindhis, I would buy it. For me, this is you will talk about what you know best. My mom is going to talk about being a grandmother. I'm going to talk about being a mother. He's going to talk about his lifestyle, life stage. I think that it's also, please understand, today content, the lines are blurred. People, Sachin touched on it very briefly, want to see authentic. जितना आपकी line coined होगी, कम चलेगी. आप कोई मुझे baseline बता दो जो पिछले 10 साल में नई crack हुई हो. De Beers said, हीरा है सदा के लिए, L'Oreal ने बोल दिया, because you're worth it, कोई नई line बता दो, because people don't want lines. They want to hear which feels unplanned. चाहे वो planned हो, but आपको candid लगना चाहिए. तो वो आप it's you are following many airport looks. It's वो तैयार हो क्या है, but you think तैयार नहीं हुई थी, red carpet नहीं है. So it's you want to see articulation. मैं तो I want to be very clear. I want every celebrity to say कि चाहे वो पंजाबी है, चाहे वो तमिल है, वो it doesn't make a difference to me as long as he loves diamonds or she loves diamonds. Yeah, absolutely. बेचने के लिए बैठे.
Sachin.
We have just time for, yeah.
I would add, here's a Sindhi and here's a Sindhi wife at home.
Oh, I love it and how.
No, but I think it's a valid in your question.
We have just time
Sachin.
for one more question. Yes, please.
I'm your big fan and a follower. So, since आप industry leader हो, De Beers से हो, and maybe Nilesh bhai who sells, so हमने हमेशा 4 C's के बारे में तो सुना है diamond में, naturally. 5th C में आप कंज्यूमर ले लीजिए, क्लाइंट ले लीजिए या हमारे जैसे कॉमन मैन ले लीजिए. बट हमारे को जो 5th C एक और है वो है कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी. आप लोग की प्राइसिंग कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी. बिकॉज हम किसी भी वेबसाइट पे जाते हैं, हीरे को देखते हैं एंड ऑल द 4 C सेम बट 100 तरह के उसमें प्राइस रहते हैं. कभी आपने उसके बारे में सोचा है कि जो नॉर्मल कॉमन मैन है वो कैसे पता करेगा कि सेम 4 C's को मैं 1 लाख रुपये पर कैरेट पे खरीदूँ या 1,10,000 पे खरीदूँ, 1,50 में खरीदूँ. और जब हम वो उसकी इन्वेस्टमेंट वैल्यू देखते हैं, बेचने जाते हैं, तो हमें कुछ और ही जवाब मिलता है. तो कभी De Beers ने या किसी और ने, सेलर्स ने, कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी जो प्राइसिंग की उसके बारे में सोचा है कि गोल्ड की तरह उसको स्टैंडर्ड कर दें, 14 कैरेट, 18 कैरेट, 22 कैरेट.
राजेश, व्हाट अ लवली क्वेश्चन. और आपके लेफ्ट पे जो इंसान बैठे हैं वो प्राइसिंग एक्सपर्ट हैं, सो वी शुड आस्क हिम दैट क्वेश्चन. बट आई थिंक the answer for India is the best, and I'll tell you why, because it's the most complex and the best solution. So हमारे दिमाग में हम जो ज्वेलरी खरीदने जाते हैं, एक हाई एंड कस्टमर ताज महल होटल में जाती है, लुई विटॉन के स्टोर में घुसती है, 5 लाख रुपए का बैग होता है, they don't blink an eye and buy a 5 lakh rupee bag. ठीक है, life is good. They go into a jewelry store, whether the jewelry store is a high end or a low end, whatever. The first question is, गोल्ड कितना है, इसमें मेकिंग चार्ज कितना है, right? That's a standard conversation. Things are changing. How? Because brands are getting relevant. The customer is not so much so worried that they want the lowest price, बट दे वांट टू बी श्योर कि इसकी जो वैल्यू है वो ठीक है कि नहीं है, राइट? वो चेंज हो रहा है. I mean, I'm here welcomed by Venus Jewels, and that's a great example. In the B2B world, इस company ने जो transparency लाई थी, you know, the steps they took long time back, which was, I'm sure, so futuristic. Today, it's a way of life, but this company did it long time back, right? In the B2B world, those things change. आप 90% jeweler, organized player in India, today stands behind the product. So to the point that whether A diamond to B diamond could be same, perhaps not. De Beers mein, and you know, from the world Rajesh is coming, we have 15,000 different price brackets that come for a diamond when we put the value. So it's a complex thing because it's not like gold. It's very different. Every diamond is different. But brands are the solution because people believe in brands. 90% of jeweler in the country, organized, who's looking future, is standing behind the product, and the promise is कि आपने आज अगर 100 का लिया है, कल when it's a rainy day, you know, things go tough, I'm standing here for 90% of the value at any point in time, cash. So these things don't happen in Western markets, and this is happening in the country. And मैं हमारे बड़े esteemed jeweler हैं in Bandra, उनके पास में था, and he was explained to me कि अगर आप एक customer जो वापस लेके आता है diamond, आपको ये सोचना चाहिए कि उसकी लाइफ में क्या चल रहा होगा. That's why he's coming to return the diamond. Or you have to treat that customer like a king, not your customer who's buying from you. Because that customer will generate so much of goodwill and other things. So I don't think complexity can go away because of the man on your left and you guys. So complexity of pricing because product is different. But brands have to stand for that solution, and solution transparency is the way of life. I think we have one more question. That gentleman had the first one.
Yeah. We can have them.
We all.
I think we could probably still hear you if you want to.
Go ahead.
जो आप लोगों, we all here believe that natural is forever. जो आप लोगों ने बोला, what you should all do is this should reach the end client rather than us, because हम लोग we already believe in this. जो और secondly, I'm like you said, you are in the business for 40 years. My family has been in business for 200 years, and अब सब बहुत strongly believe करते हैं कि natural should stay forever, but CVD market is taking a share. Lab grown market, you think this will continue? One thing. And secondly, जैसे we guys do ads, और lab grown जो कर रहा है, they are promoting via news channel. They look very ads look one sided, and news channel में लगता है इनका independent survey है. I think we should also do something like that कि news के through या फिर ऐसा लगे कि हमारा भी independently कर रहे हैं rather than paid. Of course that is also paid, जो वो लोग भी कर रहे हैं CVD का news में ला रहे हैं.
So I'm just going to try to shorten the question because we are really severe lack of time. So the question is basically, are they taking a share of our market or is it something else that's happening? Sachin bhai, Nilesh.
So I think to your point, the first question is fundamental. Are they taking a share? कुछ साल पहले lab grown diamond was a conversation where things are getting mixed up. कि भाई आप एक retailer हैं, आप consumer को natural बेच रहे हैं, आपका natural आ रहा है क्या नहीं आ रहा, you are not sure, and that was the biggest risk. Now technology solves that out very clearly. अगर आप आज की डेट में अगर आप कहते हैं कि जी मैं cheat हो गया, तो that's your choice you make it, because आप आज की डेट में cheat नहीं होने चाहिए. There's enough tools available, so that was one part. The second is legitimate business of whether you know आप transparently customer को बताते हैं lab grown है कि नहीं है, and that's a business that's going to stay. और ये जो business है, important thing is, will it replace natural that stands for value, or it replaces fun, frolic, easy imitation area? That is the only decision you have to make as a businessman. So in the world of De Beers, we have a brand called Lightbox, and that's the role of Lightbox. That is fun, frolic, $400 a carat, right? Whereas our core business, as you said, 99.99% is natural business, which we think is going to grow. So मेरे हिसाब से अभी थोड़ी lines blurred हैं लोग, and this room is important because you know in this room there's blurred where people are saying यार natural को तो ये lab को replace कर रहा है, तो we should do this. It's a completely different business. The race is to the bottom. The cost of manufacturing will be very clear, whether it's $100, $150, $200 a carat, and then it will be cost plus model. आप वो जो आपके एक थ्योरी है कि ये 1% ऑफ नेचुरल बिकेगा, नहीं बिकेगा, बिकॉज जिस तरह ट्रांसपेरेंसी B2B में आई है, इसी तरह ये रिटेल पे भी आएगी. आप नेचुरल को नेचुरल की तरह बेच पाएंगे, आप लैब ग्रोन को लैब ग्रोन की तरह बेचेंगे, लेकिन ये बिजनेसेस बहुत फ़र्क हैं, बिकॉज वन इज़ वेरी डिफरेंट वैल्यू एंड हैज़ अ डिफरेंट मीनिंग दैन लैब ग्रोन.
Do you have a moment for me? I want to add something here. आपका ज़्यादा बिजनेस रेस्टोरेंट ले रहा है, ट्रैवल ले रहा है, लैब ग्रोन नहीं ले रहा. आप किसी 25-year-old से पूछो अगले 6 महीने में क्या खरीदना चाहता है या क्या करना चाहता है या कितने पैसे खर्चे, तो आपको पता चलेगा आपका बिजनेस इज गोइंग इनटू F&B एंड ट्रैवल. इट्स नॉट. You are very mistaken. So forgetting the wedding, talk to a younger audience. You'll realize that मेरा मूड क्या, आज मैंने चांदी पहनी, मेरा मूड क्या, मैंने H&M से पहना, मेरा मूड क्या, मैंने सोना पहना. इट इज़ माई चॉइस, द मोमेंट, द ओकेजन. मैं किसी शादी पे चांदी नहीं पहन के जा रही हूँ, मैं अपने हीरा पहन के जा रही हूँ. इट्स अ मोमेंट. जब मैंने गिफ्ट करना है मुझे कोई दे के देखे. ऑनेस्ट टू गॉड, आई एम वॉट आई एम, बट इफ़ माई हस्बैंड वॉज टू गिव मी अ not a natural diamond, there would be trouble at home. But it's a different perspective.
Same with my wife.
Yeah, see, सरदारों की बात है. But the point.
Hashtag Sardar love diamonds.
But I'm saying that you underestimate what is happening. When he said brand, why is Gucci not your competition? Why is a Louis Vuitton not your competition? A bag is your competition. Today people are spending a 5 lakh का bag is bought like that without the thought. आपके लिए 6 चक्कर क्यों लगने चाहिए? So you also are, we haven't touched on, but there is design, there is a authenticity for me. ये मेरा लगना चाहिए piece, the customization. We are the only industry which is 100% bespoke और हम बोलते नहीं, और सारी दुनिया खड़ी होकर कह रही है अब हम bespoke करेंगे और उसका प्रीमियम लेंगे. हम तो हैं ही bespoke, हम तो customized हैं. We are not owning it up. We are not advertising or talking about it. So I think that you know, it's completely, for us it's two distinct categories. Both are going to grow, both have their own place, but your challenges are not going to come from here.
I think that was a very nice way to summarize what we're thinking here. The two industries will be different, and naturally the lines could be blurred somewhere, but every new thing, consumers could be confused about, but when they have clarity, they will have clarity. And I think I want to take your help in concluding this seminar. We could talk about what you feel makes natural diamonds forever, and I could start with mine. So I think because they are precious, rare, they create value, and they express my self-love. That's why I think natural diamonds are forever.
They make me feel special. They're forever.
The good things that they do will be something to speak about in the coming generation, and that's why natural diamonds will always be forever.
I think natural diamonds are everything which is not a fad, not a fashion, not only today. It is permanence, it's contemporary aesthetic, it's long term, and hence it's forever.
Thank you so much. I think this was what we needed here as a conference, to have that additional 1% or 20% or 50% confidence that natural diamonds are going to be forever. And I am really thankful to our panel here. I know they need to rush somewhere just after this, but I'd like to thank them for being here. And on behalf of GJEPC and Venus Jewel, I'd like to call Ramnik Bhai to please present a token of appreciation to our panelists, please.
We need a big round of applause to Devansh. He's done a phenomenal job on the first session.
Fantastic.
अच्छा एक such a wonderful token of appreciation from GJEPC plants and Dada.
By giving plants, we support nature
Yes.
and nature.
And thank you everyone for joining us here today. I think it's a very clear testament of how passionately we all feel that natural diamonds are forever. Thank you everyone for joining us.